I would like to show you the situation of this man and to ask you, what do you think he should do in his situation? Pay attention to the story of this man. He met a woman who he fell in love for, but this woman already had a boyfriend, and this boyfriend mistreated her. She suffered a lot, was an abusive relationship. And this man, talking to this woman, told her, listen, you don't need to go through this. I can take care of you. Then she managed to come out of this relationship, and then she started to date with this man who treated her so well. The opposite of the previous boyfriend. She left the ex, and after a while, they booked the wedding. And this man, so happy, prepared everything, the day, the church, the guests, everything. The great day has come, and he was in the church on the altar waiting for her with all the guests. When she enters, dressed for the wedding with all the guests there, what happens? He receives her on the altar, but tells her, listen, I left the rings at home. He apologized with all, stay here, I will quickly go to grab the rings to conclude our wedding. And that happened. It took a little bit longer than he expected. Traffic and everything. When he returns to the church with the rings in his pocket, getting close to the church, he hears a noise of party, celebration, and he finds that odd. When he entered the church, what happened? What had happened? His bride had invited the ex-boyfriend to the wedding, and in the absence of the groom, she decided to return to the ex. And when he entered in the church, she was kissing the boyfriend on the altar. Then I ask you, what do you think this man should do regarding his bride? Leave her there, turn away and go? Or to make a scene, kill both? Or forgive her and say, listen, if you want to come back to me, I come back to you. What do you think he should do? I presented this story to the people at the Temple of Solomon yesterday, and the majority of people said the following: no, don't go back to her. She'll betray you again. She's not good. She's worthless. This was the reaction of the majority. Then I revealed to them, this bride is you. This bride is us. And the groom is God. This is the story of God there on the Sinai, when he had removed his people from Egypt in their abusive slavery, conducted the people to the natural altar, which was the Sinai. And meanwhile, Moses was at the top to receive the ring, the covenant, the tablets of the terms of this new pact that God will make with the people, this covenant with him. While Moses was there for 40 days, the people says the following: listen, we don't know what happened to this guy called Moses. Let's do the following. Let's make a calf, a golden calf, and this will be our God who will guide us. Something that on Psalm 106 is written in a very dramatic way on verses 19 and 20. It says like this: they made a calf in Horeb. Horeb is the Sinai. They made a calf in Horeb and worshipped the molded image. Thus they changed their glory into the image of an ox, that eats grass. In other words, the people took God's glory, changed God's glory for an image of an ox that eats grass. Think with me. God's definition is someone who is superior to you. Am I right? If you will adore a God, this God must be greater than you, must have more power than you, must be more intelligent than you, obviously. Otherwise, you wouldn't adore this God, seek for help in this God. When the people made a golden calf and started to adore, to worship, and they removed their clothes and made a carnival before the golden calf, the people were saying the following: the ox that eats grass is above us. We are from that below. And indeed, they made them under an ox that eats grass. Such a ignorance, foolishness, and ingratitude. And in reality, God gets to the point of saying that not even the animals are so ungrateful to their owners, because if you treat the animal well, they return care towards you. Even the wild animals do that. But the human beings treat God like this, like the bride treated her fiancé. Well, God has been betrayed on the altar every day. God has been betrayed by many who have no appreciation towards Him. They don't recognize what He has been doing, neither who He is and all that He offers, and they preferred golden calves out there. They place on the altar of their lives something or someone who they serve with more dedication and energy, with more resources, time, loyalty, fidelity than they offer to God. And then people ask themselves, after all went wrong, all that they are suffering, they ask themselves, why God has not helped me? Why did God allow? Then God is the one to be blamed. They make their mistakes, their bad choices, turn their back to God, betray God, and later ask, why has God not protected them from themselves? The human being truly, once is considered to be the most intelligent creature in the world, is very dumb. Very dumb. You can just check out there. How many out there literally have an object as their God? They still worship images, objects, crystals, talismans. They still worship some sort of things created, whether by man's hands or by nature, instead of worshipping the Creator, instead of giving power to the one who created it all. How can someone take a piece of metal, stone, plaster, paper, whatever it is, to take that raw material and with their own hands to create, design an image and to place on the altar and later to bow to it, once they were the ones who created? They themselves made it. They created, they painted it. They formed, they thought, and according to their art, their skills, later they bowed before that as if that was greater than them. Where are people's intelligence? Intelligence for evil. But once it's for good, it's hard to find. But the worst of all is not even that. The worst of all are not people who make golden calf, literally make them out there. As bad as it is, Worse are those who make golden calf without noticing, who start to change God for something or someone who they worship as the most important one in their lives, and people placing their projects above God, placing money above God, the boyfriend, the wife, the child, the dream of being a mother, their career, putting a political ideology or a politician. They place, am I right? They place a politician above everything. They go to prison or they kill for that politician. They put something or someone above God. They've never done that for God. Not even in their dreams, they suffered any of that or done any of that for God, but for something or someone in this world, they do everything. Am I right? Their idols, their idols like artists or football, a sport or a passion for football. The person gives their lives, how many they die for their idols. They lose their lives for their football team. They lose their lives for the idol who they wanted to watch in a concert and etc. How many go through this? Then you understand they changed their glory into the image of an ox that eats grass. The human being must learn a lot about spiritual intelligence and loyalty to God that they say they believe in. If you wake up to this, then you will accept the proposal to this new marriage, this new covenant that God is making to you. The proposal on being faithful to Him and Him to you, instead of changing Him for your ex, who mistreated you, and who sometimes, even though you've been through so much suffering, you end up going back to their arms. If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.